Hello, hello. This is Pigsy doing another video. I'm just going out of some area that's a little bit built up, so I'm just taking my time. There's some other stuff that's quite important in one level. I mean, if you are interested in channeling, well, first of all, the most powerful thing you can channel is yourself, because you are made up of unlimited amounts. Well, not unlimited, okay, it's an evolved consciousness based on a multi-spectrum of understanding in the human paradigm. And there you go, into some traffic, and as a result you have become a entity with a basically a pooled consciousness. So consciousness is not just a singular, it's like in the multiplexia, I guess. So yeah, so there's been quite a lot of interesting things happen today. A lot of people see channeling and they think, oh, that's fake, because some of the channeling's personality may be coming through in the channeling, and some of it may not be. The information, for example, could be something he never was aware of prior to the actual session itself, and basically it's an eye-opener. Some people are not aware of the information that comes across their mind. I'm checking my mirrors. And some people are. Some people are conscious for the interaction, and why other people have kind of entered into a trance state. I'm able to do both. I'm able to be consciously there and consciously somewhere else at the same time, because I've always been a daydreamer, and I did a lot of work when I was young with what was called meditation. It was like a hypnotherapy sort of, sort of like hypnotic type meditation type stuff. They all kind of border into each other. I mean, there is no real difference. It's just one's got a clinical name to it, because it used to be mesmerism, but then they sort of wanted to pull the plug on, certain things, certain qualities that were being used in the mesmerism. So so what I'm doing at the moment is that we have what you call different soul aspects. Oh yeah, let's come over that side. That's what I was going to do. Soul aspects of your character, and these aspects are considered different personal traits of your being, and therefore you will integrate with them at different levels. Some of them are emotionally connected, others are not. They work either in the foreground or in the front of your mind to cause the correct interaction of yourself. What we are does not matter, what we represent does. This is the workings of the inner mind. So yeah, so that's interesting. It was just putting in things to my conscious state of mind. Sometimes you have to warm yourself up to it, and so you might practice being Bashar or something like that, or you listen to a channeler. You realise that your mind is somewhat connected to to theirs because you can hear their voice in your head. I did have actually Bashar's earlier. It's quite loud, so I think I did actually connect with the entity. And he says, "Greetings and welcome to this current space-time that you are with us, and we would like to thank you." So that was pretty much what he was coming across, and he was just like a private message. So it's kind of intrusive and intuitive sort of stuff that goes on. So it's quite interesting consciousness. I think one of the things is, like I mentioned, you're one of the most powerful things you can actually channel, because in essence you are like the Ariel, you're the divine rod, you're the Godhead. So I'm just getting towards you a second. Yeah, I decided to pause it at the traffic. What I don't want to do is overdraw attention to other things I'm doing, and while I'm driving, I mean, I could sit anywhere and just chat to the car, but it seems to draw even more suspicion. Maybe people are more intuitive than I give them credit for. So you need to look at the aspects of yourself, and you don't want to pull. You're not trying to make people believe the way they are. Part of them will if they connect anyway. And a lot of skeptics, you say, well, just try it yourself. And if they can't do it, then there we go. It's a load of horseshit or whatever. There's some interesting phrase there. And you can put in other lives as well. And you pretty much might be similar to what you are now. Some people haven't changed much. I mean, there are other entities. I think it is big time they want to be involved in lots of stuff going on this planet. And I think it's because they're in another dimension. They're not actually not here. They just are just doing their own thing, really. And then there's always this thing about space and time, which is more of a construct of the human mind, or relevant to this type of cycle of reality. But it's not the be all and end all. Basically, I think once you find you can manipulate time and space, then it's not really going to. God knows those guys go. It's just a bloke who's a bit slow. So yeah, and I think it's very important, the pooling of consciousness. Now, you may have been involved with soul groups, soul families in the past, and these families are still a part of you, just that you've branched away from them. But you can regress to the point where you sort of an nexus, a point where you can access it. I did do a thing with past life, and I saw some being that was connected to me, but he's changed somewhat. Because at some point I was a kind of race that you'd kind of we would see it as kind of a reptilian class race, simply because of its sort of harder skin and environment it lived in. And then there was some sort of cataclysm, which is why my soul shifted into a different frequency band, and why I'm quite different to other people. I've got a few gifts that have come across, but they're more at sort of at the sonic phase of sort of psychic development. So yeah, so basically this other soul I engage with is somewhat different. He had gone down a path of becoming more reptilian. So he was pleased to see me. But he also said that he was making his own way, and he didn't really want to expand back into the consciousness before. So he's creating his own new path, which I respect, because we all have our own things to do. We can't rely on other people to do things for us. Only that I've got that connection, so I can connect at some level there. And then there was a bit of a sharing of consciousness. maybe the spectrums of emotions are different than this on this world, to what he feels. So I just shared that knowledge, or them kind of feelings, because they can be projected through. I mean, even as I talk now, there's other entities there, so the pooled consciousness. So before I was born, other entities grouped together to decide that they were going to be a part of you, or a part of me in this sense. But this rule applies for other people, that we have a connected consciousness, but we also have a grouped consciousness. And I'm also reminded on the physical side, when people get together as a group, that they share consciousness at a sort of level there as well. It's an intuitive behaviour. That's why people have dispositions towards what we call personality types, and so they can work and be harnessed as a part of a group, because you can't all be leaders, you know, and that sort of thing. You have to have a function within a group. But when a group gets together and you kind of relax and you let yourself synchronise that group, then you start thinking as one. If people actually realise this, instead of just letting themselves sink into a kind of sort of lower band frequency, or a merged frequency of the group, then they'll have more of a productive outcome. A lot of people, when they switch their minds off, become into a more animalistic state, and therefore they miss out the potential for what they can do with their consciousness. So that's other things as well, other powers, is that like if I see something, I can see the whole lot of things to do. Like I was connected with plant consciousness, and I saw loads of different species of plants. Now, and then I did something where I was on a website, and I think I was just looking at some Russian women, to be honest, and you know, I can't blame myself for that. But then I started, before I went to go and have a dream, I was almost looking through the monitors at other different women. So it's really weird. It was like I was actually in the room with them. So if I looked at my profile, I was looking at them, which wasn't too bad. But you could see the way they could channel, because my consciousness was projecting through the screen. It's not limited by technology. As long as it have this frequency around myself, that's really what corrects that situation. That enhances what we are. So it's the next stage of channeling. It's basically group channeling, where people might switch between different entities. A lot of them do a lock-on onto what they want to do, and also we can create entities that work for us to project messages of consciousness or whatever that might be. A lot of stuff is coming across to me as a kind of like there we go, as a kind of neo form of Buddhism, you know, like peace, love and prosperity and all these things that you probably know already in your bones anyway. So anyway, this is Pigsy signing off, and speak to you soon.